In the early 1900s, an English scholar published a ghost story about a man who finds an ancient whistle buried on a deserted beach and accidentally calls something to him. At the time, it was dismissed as fiction, just a story, something to entertain readers on cold winter nights. But here's where things get strange. Because the author, M.R. James, wasn't known for wild imagination. He was a respected historian, a meticulous academic, someone who based his work on real places, real artifacts, and sometimes real legends. So let's go back to the beginning, to a quiet stretch of coastline in England, cold, empty, and almost completely forgotten. A place where the wind never really stops, and the sand has a way of hiding things better left buried. There's a certain kind of person who doesn't believe in anything they can't measure. No ghosts, no curses, no things in the dark. Professor Parkins was exactly that kind of person. He was a neat, logical, no-nonsense academic, the kind of man who trusted facts, numbers, and absolutely nothing else. So when he took a quiet holiday to the English coast, he wasn't looking for mystery. He was looking for rest. What he found instead was something that had been waiting. Parkins arrived at a small seaside town, cold, quiet, and mostly empty for the season. Endless flat beaches stretched out in both directions, the wind constantly scraping across the sand like something whispering just out of reach. He checked into a modest inn, exchanged polite conversation with the staff, and settled into a routine. Walks in the morning, reading in the afternoon, early nights. Simple, predictable, safe. One morning, while exploring the ruins of an old medieval site near the beach, a place locals barely mentioned, Parkins noticed something half buried in the sand. It was metal. Small, circular, curious. Now, most people might have ignored it, but Parkins wasn't most people. He was curious in the academic sense, the kind that pushes you just a little too far. So he knelt down and brushed away the sand, and that's when he found it. A whistle. Old, tarnished, strange symbols carved into its surface, nothing he immediately recognized. He turned it over in his hand, studying it like a puzzle, and then he noticed something etched along the side. A phrase in Latin. He translated it slowly, under his breath. Who is this who is coming? He frowned. Odd thing to write on a whistle. Still, it was probably nothing. A relic, a curiosity, something forgotten. Later that day, walking alone along the empty shoreline, Parkins took the whistle out of his pocket again. The wind was stronger now, cutting across the beach in long, hollow gusts. He hesitated, just for a second. Then, almost absent-mindedly, he raised the whistle to his lips and blew. The sound that came out wasn't what he expected. It wasn't sharp. It wasn't clean. It was thin, unnatural, like it didn't quite belong to the world around him. And the moment it faded, the wind stopped, completely. For a few seconds, the entire beach fell into a dead, suffocating silence. No waves, no wind, nothing. Parkins lowered the whistle slowly, and then the wind came back. But not the same as before. This time, it came rushing in all at once, violent and cold, tearing across the sand in a way that felt almost directed, like something had heard him. That night, back at the inn, Parkins tried to ignore the uneasy feeling settling in his chest. He told himself it was nothing. Just imagination. Just the wind. Just a coincidence. But as he lay in bed, half asleep, he heard something. A sound from outside his door. Soft, dragging, like fabric being pulled slowly across the floor. He sat up, listened. Silence. After a moment, he shook his head and lay back down. But sleep didn't come easily. The next day, things got worse. A fellow guest at the inn, a man staying in the room next to his, mentioned something strange over breakfast. He said he had seen someone on the beach the previous evening. Late. Long after anyone should have been out there. Parkins felt a flicker of unease. Someone, he asked. The man hesitated. Not exactly, he said. He described a figure. Tall, thin, moving strangely, like it wasn't walking, but being pushed forward by the wind. Parkins didn't respond. Didn't need to, because he already knew. That night, the sound came back. Louder this time. Closer. Dragging. Shifting. Something moving just outside his room. And then, a pause, right at his door. Parkins sat frozen in bed, staring into the darkness. His heart was pounding now, loud enough that he was sure whatever was out there could hear it. The handle didn't turn. The door didn't open. But somehow, that felt worse. Because it meant it didn't need to. The next morning, Parkins looked exhausted. Shaken, but still trying to hold on to reason. He told himself he would leave soon. That whatever this was, it would end the moment he did. But that night, the final night, everything changed. He had just begun to drift off when the sound started again. Not outside this time. Inside. A faint movement in the corner of the room. Parkins sat up sharply, his eyes adjusting to the dark. And that's when he saw it. At first, it didn't make sense. It looked like fabric. Sheets maybe. But they weren't lying flat. They were rising. Slowly. As if something underneath them was trying to stand. Parkins couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. The shape pulled itself higher, forming something almost human. But wrong. Terribly wrong. No face. No features. Just folds of cloth, twisting and tightening around something that wasn't meant to be seen. And then, it turned toward him. In one sudden, violent motion, it lunged. Parkins screamed. The next thing anyone knew, the entire inn was awake. Doors opening, footsteps rushing, voices calling out. They found him in his room, collapsed, barely conscious, eyes wide with terror. The bedclothes were scattered across the floor. Twisted, knotted, as if they had been alive. Parkins never fully recovered from what happened. He left the town almost immediately, and he never spoke about the whistle again. But one detail stayed with him, one thing he could never explain. The whistle was gone. And somewhere, out on that empty stretch of beach, when the wind is just right, you might hear it. A thin, distant sound, carried across the sand, calling. And if you listen closely, you might start to wonder, who is coming? Thanks for watching. Stay curious. I'll see you next time. Peace.